Happy March 7th. JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today. In this show, we talk about the Bitcoin reserve. It is official. The US has a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We break down what exactly it means. We check in on the MSTR ballistic model. We talk about the future of Bitcoin. I also have two great video clips, one of Cynthia Lummis talking the talk, and then one about Bhutan, which is going to be very interesting. You're not going to want to miss what they're doing in this world. And remember, this video is not financial advice. Please comment below. I want to know where you're watching from, what you're thinking about this SBR. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it a nothing burger? Is it the future? We're going to break it down, and let's dive in. All right, today's first post is from Michael Saylor himself. Today, President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve with a fixed supply of 21 million coins. There is a strategic advantage to being among the first nations to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Boom. And the Bitcoin therapist wants us to know that America is winning because Michael Saylor says the U.S. now has the world's largest strategic Bitcoin reserve. End of story. And Michael Saylor does have a few budget neutral strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin. That was one of the things that was in the SBR, was that right now they're looking for budget neutral strategies to acquire Bitcoin. The government is looking to acquire Bitcoin, but in budget neutral ways. So Michael Saylor, being the genius that he is, has a bunch, I'm sure. Chris wants us to know that Saylor knew it all along, yet idiots wanted to criticize him for bagging as much Bitcoin as quickly as possible. The same guy that was having conversations behind closed doors with people directly connected to the SBR, they mistook his knowledge for ignorance. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Saylor has asymmetric information. Shaking my head. British Hodl breaks it down for us. He said he had an hour to parse through the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve EO after waking up here in Dubai. Here's what we've had. One, clear separation between the SBR and crap coin stockpile. Two, SBR can acquire more assets. The crap coin stockpile will only hold seized assets. Three, all arms of government have 30 days to transfer Bitcoin to Treasury to form the SBR. Four, the government can acquire Bitcoin in ways that does not cost the taxpayers money. This means sell existing assets or siphon existing funds, up to 40 billion already available. Or the most entertaining turn of events, sell assets from the crap coin stockpile and convert them into the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Five, the world is now on notice that Bitcoin is a strategic asset, and I expect 7 more dominoes to fall. The US SBR is not just the US. This is every country that competes with the US is in now. The White House has officially stated that Bitcoin is digital gold. Am I missing anything else? This is quite a remarkable bill, and congratulations to everyone involved in getting it done. I really love the separation of the SBR and crap coin pile. And when British Hodl is happy, because he can typically be pretty snarky, I'm happy. The Bitcoin Citadel says U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve, Bitcoin president, Bitcoin administration, dollar collapsing, lower interest rates, money printer returning, no capital gains on taxes, BlackRock saying there isn't enough Bitcoin, smiling Saylor knows what's coming. Look at that grin, ear to ear, baby. What movie is that from? Bitcoin Citadel says, breaking, David Sachs says, over the past decade, the federal government sold approximately 195,000 Bitcoin for proceeds of 366 million. If the government had held Bitcoin, it would be worth over 17 billion today. The US government will buy and hodl Bitcoin now. And here's the two biggest proponents of doing just that. Man, this is bullish. Bitcoin overflow. Crossing the chasm is extremely difficult because it's fundamentally about onboarding practitioners of the status quo. The floodgates of early majority adoption open when career risk flips from recommending Bitcoin to clients to not recommending it. So real quick, what this means is the registered investment advisors really had a risk before. The risk was, if I recommend Bitcoin and it goes bad, I'm probably going to get fired. Now the risk is, if I don't recommend Bitcoin, I'm probably going to get fired. That's a huge flip. And that's why every RIA will be recommending Bitcoin now and soon in the future. MicroStrategist, Marty's rocking it as always. I love when he posts stuff like this. It's crazy how closely MSTR tracks the ballistic model as Bitcoin comes off its highs. And look at this red dot right there. The current price, his model, MSTR should be at 307. It's currently at 304 when this screenshot was taken, undervalued by just 1.1%. So, I mean, I'm loving this model, and I hope you guys are as well. As you can see, what happens when Bitcoin hits 120? Well, it's looking like a pretty sweet little price point for us here. And let's be honest, this is inevitable. It's just a matter of when. Stack Hodler wants us to know that the United States just signaled its intent to buy and hodl Bitcoin. Most people aren't aware of this information yet, but you are. You now have an extremely limited window to establish your own strategic reserve below $100,000. How you react to this information has the potential to massively impact the rest of your life. Good luck. And he follows up by saying, the United States has accepted Satoshi's gift to the world. Freedom money has officially entered the gates of the fiat regime. Ignore the short-term price action. This is a turning point in history and a massive win for mankind. And here comes the Trojan horse. Let's go. All right, now I have two videos, one from Cynthia Lummis and one from Bhutan. Let's kick it right in.
We got off the gold standard a long time ago. My question is how much you would spend tax dollars at a time when we're talking about trying to reduce costs. How much would you spend on Bitcoin as part of this reserve?
We wouldn't have to spend any new dollars. We have reserves at our 12 Federal Reserve banks, including gold certificates that could be converted to current fair market value. They're held at their 1970s value on the books, and then sell them into Bitcoin. That way, we wouldn't have to use any new dollars in order to establish this reserve. The United States already holds over 200,000 Bitcoin in the asset forfeiture funds. So that would be the initial source of Bitcoin. So no new money spent on this reserve.
In Bhutan, gold is everywhere, a Buddhist symbol of the everlasting nature of enlightenment. Now, this small Himalayan kingdom is investing in a future it hopes will be blessed with what backers call digital gold, Bitcoin. It's also finite and supposedly everlasting.
There are hundreds of people who have made billions of dollars on the back of Bitcoin. Why aren't governments doing more? Even if it is seen to be
Prime Minister's Chairing Topgay says Bitcoin is a strategic reserve, one currently worth more than $1 billion.
We have used Bitcoin for health, to provide free healthcare, for our environment, but these are minor. The main use of Bitcoin has been to finance the salaries of public servants.
Bhutan has built Bitcoin mines at locations across the country where thousands of energy-hungry computers solve complex mathematical puzzles to claim Bitcoins. And here's what's powering this modern-day gold rush: hydro-generated electricity. The government says its Bitcoin operation is carbon neutral. It relies only on water from the Himalayas. It's also very profitable, with Bhutan's computers being rewarded with Bitcoins that at current prices add up to millions of dollars a week. Bhutan is a small country. Large-scale manufacturing and agriculture aren't possible. Almost all food is imported, and options for economic development are limited.
I would be very worried if our government was buying Bitcoin, in trading in Bitcoin. But I think the kind of reassurance for us Bhutanese citizens is that the government is mining it. We are using the cheap hydropower, and instead of exporting it at a very cheap rate, we are using it to mine Bitcoins in the high mountains of Bhutan.
Whatever I require for the chief executive of Bhutan's sovereign holding company says exploiting Bitcoin and other new technologies is vital to economic development.
I think you cannot run away from blockchain, cannot run away from AI, how blockchain and AI will combine the industry of money, if I may say, and how money flows from one hand to another, because it's one of the biggest innovation in the space of money for humanity from the time we remember where money was discovered or invented.
Will the Bhutanese one day be making Bitcoin offerings to Buddha, The Prime Minister thinks the world is heading inevitably towards using and exchanging Bitcoin just like any other currency. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Thimphu, Bhutan.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR Today. And here is my receipt from yesterday. I purchased a 0.698 share of MSTR. The price was at $302 when I bought, and I did a $211 purchase. As I purchase around $210 every single trading day of 2025. My full portfolio will be revealed on Sunday, as I do every single Sunday. It'll still be in the red, it looks like, but it'll be a little closer to being in the black than it was last week. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're surrounding yourself with the right people, because if you're having a long-term view, if you're really understanding where Bitcoin is going, you understand where MSTR is going. That's why you're an investor in MSTR. That's why you're an investor in Strategy and you're a believer in Michael Saylor. So surround yourself with those 5 people that you admire, that you know, that you like, that you trust. I'm honored to be one of those that you at least seem to like a little bit. So you're going to be, since you're watching this show. So thank you for that. I value your time, and I hope that you find it valuable as well. So please do comment below to give a little value back about where you're watching from, what you're thinking. Just put comment for support. Those are amazing as well. So I know that you care and you're watching. And as Michael Saylor says, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.